Well, hello. Come on up, have a seat. I'm excited. I know. I don't look very excited. I never look very excited. I just have one of those faces. Those non-excited faces. Nevertheless, I have a couple of things with me tonight. And ordinarily, I'm not really excited about things. I'm excited about people. I'm excited about ideas. Not so much about things. Unless those things are invested with memory. Because memory comes from people and from ideas. And so we see the intrinsic value of things is minuscule. Maybe one of these days I'll talk to you about the sacrability of space, time, and matter. But this isn't that day. One of the things that I have with me tonight is a pipe that I purchased at some pipe shop in Gatlinburg. Wonder which one. It is a Benwade unicorn. And 1985 was the year before I went to work there. And I still work there. 36 years later, because I'm recording this in 2022. I bought this Benwade unicorn. Oh, huge bowl. Take my word for it, grains straight all the way round. You can imagine, so simply because, look at all the bird's eye on top. Why is grain important? Because the grain is the pore structure. The pores are how the heat gets out. They are dead air space between wood fibers. Grain is actually important to the performance of the pipe. Also, it's beautiful, and if things can be done beautifully, it ought. At this point, I could say several uncharitable things. About men who refuse to do things beautifully. Simply to serve some other expedient. Things should be done beautifully. Am I going to make an argument for it? Not at present. Consult your soul. Surely, that is an innate truth in any human being. This is a beautiful pipe from the mid-1980s. I have told you, I'm sure, that my first bowlful of pipe tobacco was Mac Baron's Golden Extra, and I developed a fondness for Mac Baron's. I did. and I still possess that. I smoke their Navy Flake on a very regular basis. I mean, I smoke so much Navy Flake, I feel a bit guilty about it. But I go ahead. It's only a bit guilty. end of this matter. We, by which I mean that pipe shop for which I work, have come into possession of some unsmoked vintage pipes because of one of our oldest customers and oldest friends passed away, and his wife asked, would we help recoup some money for her with his collection, and we said yes, of course we would. Not a thing that we would ordinarily do, but our friend and customer had, during his college years in the 80s, worked off and on as manager of a tinder box, which used to be really nice chain of pipe stores. Then the chain crumbled, and now, individual tinder boxes have come back and proven themselves to be worthy of the name. Good for them. So, Keith, our friend, had been a manager, as I said, of one of these, and off and on, and he had a huge pipe collection. Pebble homes, and a lot of escortees, which is going to lead to another funny story in another video, not tonight. That's the thing about a story, isn't it? They all tangle up together, and then from inside the tangle, a strand moves sort of to the outside, and it starts a new tangle, kind of like an onion, and kind of like a knot of yarn. Keith had a bunch of tobacco, too, stored away from the 1980s. And I just happened to have in my possession this evening a tin of Mac Barron's Plumcake from the mid-1980s. It has never been opened. The label is painted onto the surface of the metal. It's not a sticker. There's no sticker on the back. There's no ricey sound when you shake it. And I am going to take my 3-piece pipe tool, check tool, and insert that right there and open this bad boy up. I heard that sucking sound when it opened. The aroma of the tobacco first hitting the air. There we go. To what shall I compare it? Fruitcake. I will compare it to fruitcake and cinnamon. And first kisses and old love. I have a poet's soul trapped in a quartz crystal. No, I have the soul of the poet. I just don't have his bravery. Look at that. It's all brown and discolored. Oh, is it discolored or is it colored? You know, there are people who think that meerschaums become ugly when they become brown. They're the same sort of people, I think, that think that hair becomes ugly when it becomes white, that eyes become ugly when they're wrinkled at the corners from laughter. We don't like those people, do we? Oh, I'm peeling away the inner label. I'm going to show it to you. Oh, look. Oh, it's just grotty with all that goodness. Look, clingy bits of tobacco. It's just as wonderful and sugary and moist as it can be. Were there a way to fold that and carry it in a bag around my neck, I probably would. All right. You know, I had a story all laid out to tell you tonight, and I'm not going to. Because we're already 12 minutes into this, and why would you care to hear a story of the old days when here before you lies its component, a participant in many of my old days, the tobacco of my youth. I was in my 20s when this went in the tin, and when I was 21. Yeah, now I'm 2 and 60, and oh, 'tis true, 'tis true. This, I feel I ought to say grace. May the blessing of Almighty God come down upon this moment, this experience, these words, and may the mercy of God be upon all their partakers. Amen. I have stuffed as much of this as I possibly can into this bowl. My hands are trembling. Not an anticipation. I have it's a thing. doesn't cause pain. Causes embarrassment. And what is embarrassment but a sort of pain anyway, inflicted upon one's pride? Would that pride could be crippled by embarrassment. Unfortunately, it cannot. I think it just exacerbates it. Just makes pride worse and worse and worse, more and more of a delusion. By we constantly trick ourselves into believing we're better people than we are. There is in the nose smack of brown sugar, citrusy note of that Virginia. Just a bit of cinnamon and allspice, I think. If there were anything good anything enchanting, anything so powerfully memory-inducing, like a madeleine dipped in a cup of tea. Thanks, Marcel. I'm thinking of my friend Larry, who introduced me to pipe smoking in 1976. and The Lord of the Rings, and prog rock. I owe Larry. I owe a lot. And the good news is, I can still pay him back. I'm going to send him a little of this.